Today, we are going to be reviewing basic fire safety and how to use a fire extinguisher to better prepare you to respond in the event of an emergency. In today's training, we will be reviewing 6 different topics related to fire safety. First, introduction to fire safety, how fires start, fire detection, putting out a fire, and how to use a fire extinguisher. Lastly, we will put what you've learned here today to the test. Section 1. Introduction to fire safety. Fires are a major risk to personal safety and property. We all play an important role in managing fire risks, especially in the workplace. Through this course, you'll learn about fire safety, how fires start, how fires are detected, how to put out a fire, and how to operate a fire extinguisher. There are many fire risks in our workplaces. However, not all workplaces have the same fire risks. It is your job to understand what specific fire risks exist in your workplace and which steps need to be taken to manage those risks. Fires in Canada are classified based on the fire's primary fuel source, what is being burned. There has been a decrease in the annual number of fires in Canada. However, in order to maintain that trend, we all need to be aware of the common causes of fire in Canada. Common causes of residential fires are smoking, cooking, electrical equipment malfunction, arson, appliance malfunction, candles, light bulbs, and children playing with fire or fire-starting materials. The causes of industrial fires typically depend on the type of industry. For example, a restaurant has different fire risks than a gas plant. However, in general, common sources of industrial fires include electrical malfunction, mechanical malfunction, heating and cooling units. Common causes of construction site fires include flammable materials stored incorrectly, power sources such as generators and electrical cords, electrical equipment malfunction, arson, and lack of training. Section 2. How fires start. For a fire to start, certain elements need to come together. This process is represented by the fire tetrahedron. Tetra means 4. The fire starting process is made up of 4 elements: an ignition source, fuel, oxygen, and the chemical chain reaction that results from the combination. Understanding the elements that make up the fire tetrahedron allows you to better prevent and respond to fires. Ignition source. The ignition source of fire is often created by heat, friction, or electricity. Think of an ignition source as the match that lights a candle wick. Fuel. Fuel refers to the material that is being burned and allows the fire to continue burning. Wood in a campfire is a type of fuel. Oxygen. Just like people, fires need to breathe to survive. Oxygen molecules gain energy and become active, which when mixed with fuel and an ignition source, results in a fire. Chemical chain reaction. The combination of an ignition source, fuel, and oxygen results in the chemical chain reaction of a fire. Once the fire is going, there is what's called an exothermic chain reaction, caused by the fire itself that keeps it going. An explosion is an extreme example of an exothermic chain reaction. Fire starters. Ignition sources in workplaces may occur from chemicals, hot work, and electrical sources. Fuel sources in the workplace often arise from improperly stored intentional fuel sources like gasoline and oil and housekeeping issues. Understanding how fires start is critical to preventing them. The goal of fire prevention is to remove at least one of the 3 components that result in a fire: fuel, oxygen, or an ignition source. Removing one of the components requires you to identify fire risks and work backwards to eliminate the risk. For example, if you notice that a box of oily rags was sitting near a gas-powered generator, you could move or safely dispose of the rags to eliminate the fuel risk, move the generator to eliminate the ignition risk, or move both the rags and the generator to eliminate both risks. Some buildings are built to withstand fire. In some cases, special materials may be required by law to prevent fires or to slow them down if they do start. Many industrial buildings are made of metal and concrete, rather than wood, in order to reduce the possibility of fire. Section 3. Fire detection. The sooner a fire is detected, the sooner a response plan can be activated. In general, Fires are detected by sight, smell, or sound. In many cases, a fire will be detected by someone who sees fire or smoke. When materials burn, they emit distinct smells. Someone may smell a fire or smoke before seeing it. Usually when someone is not in the immediate area of a fire, they will detect it through hearing. In most cases, someone will hear an alarm, such as the alarm from a smoke detector. However, it is possible someone would hear the sound of material burning. Following detection of a fire, the first step always needs to be to activate an alarm. This notifies others of the fire and ensures a response plan can be activated. Activating an alarm will also notify local fire rescue services. Staff need to be aware of the location of alarms, fire extinguishers, exits, and the evacuation muster point. Once a fire has been detected and an alarm activated, you need to be prepared to make decisions about how to respond. These decisions require the assessment of the fire. The decision you make depends on the unique situation you are in. A fire assessment should identify risk and result in the safest decision being made. What to do? Ensure the alarm has been activated. If the alarm is blocked by smoke or fire, refer to your site map to locate another alarm and/or call 911. Identify the location of fire extinguishers in the area. Extinguishers should be located in areas where fire risks exist. Assess whether the fire is small enough for you to safely suppress with a fire extinguisher. Remember, the goal is to get out safely, not fight a large fire. You should only use a fire extinguisher to clear a path for evacuation. Identify the nearest emergency exit. If the exit is blocked by smoke or fire, an alternative exit may need to be utilized, or a path may need to be cleared with a fire extinguisher. Identify where the muster point is on your worksite. If evacuation is required, moving to the muster point will ensure that everyone who evacuated is accounted for, which is important. Section 4. Putting out a fire. It is unlikely you will ever be required to put out a fire yourself. However, understanding how to put out a fire and recognizing the fire suppression equipment in your workplace will help you feel confident if an emergency ever occurs. Think about your workplace. What kind of fire suppression equipment is there? Are there sprinklers? Are there fire extinguishers? If so, where are they located? If you're unsure about fire suppression equipment in your workplace, talk with your supervisor. Fire suppression equipment can be categorized as fixed equipment or portable equipment. Fixed fire suppression equipment includes sprinkler systems or fire hydrants. Portable fire suppression equipment refers equipment that can be moved and is handheld, such as a fire extinguisher. As you know, fires are classified based on what is being burned. For that reason, there are different classes of fire extinguishers that are designed to extinguish different types of fires. Though most extinguishers today are ABC combined, understanding what each classification is designed to extinguish can help you act quickly and safely in the event of a fire. Type of fire extinguishers are water-based and used for solids that burn like paper and wood. You can remember this by thinking of A for ash, since class of fires burn to ash. Type B fire extinguishers use a powder extinguishing agent and are designed to use on flammable liquids, such as intentional fuels like oil and gasoline. You can remember this by thinking of B for barrel, since many flammable liquids are stored in barrels. Type C fire extinguishers use dry powder extinguishing agent and are designed for fires caused by electrical sources. You can remember this by thinking of C for current, since these fires involve an electrical current. Type D fire extinguishers are designed for fires caused by burning metals like lithium. These fires can be challenging to extinguish and require specialized knowledge and techniques. Remember this type of fire by thinking of D for heavy duty. Type K fire extinguishers are for fires caused by oils like cooking oils. You can remember this by thinking of K for kitchen. In many places, Class K is considered part of Class B, as they both involve oils. Fire extinguishers must be inspected monthly. Check to make sure that the extinguishers are accessible, in good condition, and that the type of extinguisher is appropriate for the area. If you're asked to inspect extinguishers, make sure you know how to do so, where they all are located, and where to record your notes. Many workplaces have a professional company inspect and service extinguishers in accordance with local regulations. If fire extinguishers need to be repaired or refilled, professionals must do so. Section 5. How to use a fire extinguisher. The pass method. Every employer and at each workplace must have their own emergency resources and at a minimum have a fire extinguisher. The type and number of fire extinguishers required differs based on location size, industry, and activities conducted at the workplace. Note for construction workplaces, 1 or more 440 BC fire extinguishers are required by legislation. For example, if there are multiple workers conducting hot work, pull safety pin from handle, aim nozzle at base of the fire, squeeze the trigger handle, sweep from side to side, watch for reflash, fire or smoke. In the event of a minor fire, use the fire extinguisher. If clothing catches fire, stop, drop, and roll.
Pass method for putting out a fire. In this video, we'll teach you how to properly use a fire extinguisher using the pass method. When fire strikes at your workplace, be sure to follow these 3 steps. Step 1. Check to make sure the fire extinguisher you have on hand is the correct type of extinguisher to extinguish the type of fire. Type A is used for ordinary combustibles such as wood and paper. Type B extinguishers are used on flammable liquids like gasoline and oil. Type C is for electrical fire, so they can be used on faulty outlets and appliances. Type D is used on flammable metals such as magnesium and titanium. And Class K extinguishers are used when fires involve cooking media, fats, grease, and oils. All commercial cooking sites such as restaurants need this extinguisher. If you don't feel you can safely put out the fire, exit the building immediately. Step 2. With the extinguisher in hand, step 6 to 8 feet away from the fire. Step 3. Use the pass method to put out the fire. P. Pull the pin so that you're able to discharge the extinguisher. A. Aim the extinguisher nozzle at the base of the fire. S. Squeeze the lever to discharge the extinguishing agent. Releasing the lever will stop the discharge. S. Sweep. Pointing the extinguisher at the base of the fire, move the extinguisher from left to right or back and forth in a sweeping motion until the fire is out. When the fire is out, continue to watch the fire to ensure the fire does not ignite once again. If the fire comes back, repeat the pass method. Recap. P. Pull the pin. A. Aim. S. Squeeze. And S. Sweep. Remember, fires can be harmful and fatal, so do not put the fire out yourself unless it's safe to do so. At CQ Fire and Safety, we are a one-stop shop for your fire and safety needs, keeping business OSHA compliant and up to NFPA standards. For more info, visit www.cqfireandsafety.com.
Please scan the QR code to complete the fire safety quiz.